yesterday on Twitter. Yesterday on Twitter, I said the thing. I said that I would play Final Fantasy XIV. I did. I know this might be a surprise. This might upset a lot of people. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are just like people. I think that anybody that watches my stream, even if they hate Final Fantasy, they will probably show up to watch it because it's probably going to be a complete shit show. And I think everybody knows that, right? I mean, you know, Asmongold plays Final Fantasy for the first time, and he'll give up after an hour. I want to try to give it an honest shake. So I want to play through the game. Now, here's what I understand about it, and here's what I've been told. So my understanding of the game is that in order to get to like the good content, you have to boost a character. However, I do not want to boost a character. I want to play the game in the way that it was to some degree intended, and then after that formulate an opinion off of that. So I do want to start at the beginning, and even if it's a bit slow, I want to experience the game the way that it's supposed to be, the way that it's supposed to be experienced. And I think that honestly, like, part of this is going to be, I guess, kind of a review. Now, in my opinion, I think that if the beginning of the game is so bad that everybody wants you to boost through it, then I think that's probably not a good thing about the game. But we'll have to see what happens, and I'll have to try it out and see for myself. Because maybe it could just be fine, and I'm just not really used to that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, I'm going to try to play through the game, and I'll try to get to whatever the, you know, like the end game content is. And of course, I don't know how many streams I'm going to do of this or anything like that, but I do want to just try out the game and see what it's like. And again, like, I don't want this to be, I want to say right now, guys, if we're going to do this, if we're going to stream this game, I want to say that we have to keep the malding to a minimum. We have to keep the angry boys at bay. We have to keep the bullshit pretty much locked down, and none of that shit's gonna happen, okay? So yeah, it's like, it's weird for me, right? Because like, here's me, you know, I'm, you know, some fucking balding, middle-aged man living with my mother in Austin, Texas, eating Wendy's all day, and I'm getting thousands of tweets at me that are fucking acting like this is the second coming of Jesus. The fact that I'm gonna play a video game. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, guys. It's just a game. Let me just play the fucking game and enjoy myself, and that's it. I'm not trying to fucking make a statement here. I'm not trying to start a political movement. I'm not trying to start a revolution. I just want to play a fucking game. That's all there is to it. That's all I've got to say. Really, it's not all I've got to say. I'm going to talk for fucking 20 more minutes about this, but you know what I mean. Like, just let me play the fucking game. Yes, let me enjoy myself. Now, I know that this has been a very important situation for a lot of people, and I want to say this because many people have moved over from Final Fantasy, to Final Fantasy from WoW. And I understand why. I mean, the truth is that WoW's best release in the past 5 years has been a release that came out 15 years ago. It's pretty fucking sad. But here we are, and I think it should be enjoyable, at least to an extent, right? That's all it really comes down to. And practice low-level malding. Yeah, the community itself is a problem. Yes, I do think the Final Fantasy community as I said, like, these are the same people that show up to your doorstep and ask you if you've heard about the good word of our Lord fucking, like, it depends, right? Is it Jesus? Is it, I don't know, like, whoever the fuck. Like, these are evangelists. Yes, absolutely. It's very fucking annoying. Anybody who's pushy with the way that they think and the way that they feel about something is automatically gonna fucking annoy everybody else that doesn't feel and think the same way. And that's the way I think it is with pretty much everything. There's almost nobody who's really pushy about how they feel, and they don't get a lot of pushback on their pushiness because nobody likes to get pushed around. And the reality is that, yes, the Final Fantasy community has been incredibly obnoxious, and it's been one of the reasons why I've been less likely to play the game, because the community has been obnoxious. They've been weird. They've made a bunch of like weird comments, and just in general, it's been a little bit of spurgery. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. It's been a lot of spurgery. But the fact is that a lot of people have wanted me to play this game, and I think that I should try it out and just see what it's like. And if people get mad about it, to some degree, that's their own fucking problem. So that's the way I feel about it. It's your chat? No, it's like YouTube comments, it's like other people's experience, like that's outside of my own. No, it's not my chat. Like, my chat's got its own problems, of course it does. I mean, everybody's chat has their own fucking problems. But for me, I think that it's mainly just people that exist on their own, man. Merely a vocal minority. And that's always the case, isn't it? It's always a vocal minority that really kind of sets the tone for everybody else. And it's unfortunate that that's the case, but usually most people just play their video game and shut the fuck up. There's only a few people that want to talk about it like it's some kind of a fucking political movement. Yeah, I understand it, man. I totally do. But at the same time, it does make it a little bit less appealing for me. But I've decided to take the plunge and do what I said I was going to do, and I'm going to try out the game. Now, the time frame for when I'm going to try out the game, I think a lot of people are probably wondering about that too. What does that mean? Does that mean that you're going to try it today or whatever? I'm not going to play it today. I might look at it, talk about it a little bit today, a little bit more, absolutely. But I think I'm going to play it probably within the next week and a half to 3 weeks, somewhere around there. Now, I want to finish up the stuff that I want to do in Burning Crusade, get to kind of like a coasting point in Burning Crusade, and then try this out too. And then also we can probably do that in the middle of, right before 9.1 comes out, and then hopefully enjoy that. Yeah, I want to form my own opinion about this, and I want to enjoy myself. I think that's what it comes down to, man. Yeah, will Mcconnell play with you? If Mcconnell wants to play Final Fantasy with me, I would love that. I think that would be great. But I think that he will probably just be sitting in Discord laughing his ass off as soon as I interact with the first cat girl or cat boy at this time. Apparently they've added those too. You gonna play Final Fantasy with me?
Nope. You're on your own with that one.
Why?
No fucking way.
You afraid of the YouTube comments?
Sure. Whatever you want to say. I'm more of afraid of your tanking since you're doing such a poor job.
Well, I mean, that's what happens whenever you hit the wrong mob. Somebody asked me the other day, and I'm curious, like, what you think. Do you think Blizzard is ever going to make a good game again?
No.
You think they're never going to make another good game?
It's the whole, PepsiCo thing. Like, Blizzard's good at marketing, good at hyping shit up, and then you fall for it, and then you play it, and then the game sucks dick.
Yeah, I get it. That's pretty much what it is. It's Active Blizzard. Do you guys really think that, like, Activision is, like, actually making all the games bad? Because, like, I kind of don't believe that. Like, there's a big part of me that actually just thinks Blizzard doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and people are just using Activision as a cope to rationalize why Blizzard keeps making bad mistakes. Like, that's honestly the way I feel about it.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay? And maybe I've just become like disillusioned with like WoW. But with WoW it's like I'm on a gear chase, and then once I attain the gear, I'm pretty much done. But when you play like for example GTA like RP and you're online, you're chasing a story for your character. Yeah. And like you want a really good story that will entertain people or get you invested in the character. Yeah. And I don't feel the same investment in the character for WoW. I don't know if that's a problem that Blizzard can solve. Yeah. But it definitely doesn't help their game.
I think that, you know what's really sad about that? Is that a lot of people tell me that's why they play Final Fantasy. That's what's so fucked up. It's like they say the exact same thing about Final Fantasy. They're like, well, we like it because we have like this other chance to, do this, like, we create this storyline for our character and everything. It seems almost like a lot of the RP, like all the people that used to hang out in Goldshire and, like fucking change their profile pictures on Twitter to like a night elf female or something like that. All of those people are moving over to Final Fantasy. And like, those are the real, like, those are like in the ecosystem, those are the bottom feeders that you need. And you just don't have the bottom feeders anymore. I think, it's really sad, man, to see all those people that were, previous, Goldshire losers, and now they're sitting over there in Final Fantasy. But here's another thing. Final Fantasy, Square Enix, they commented on my tweet.
Yeah, I saw that.
They commented on my tweet. Imagine commenting, like Blizzard would never even do that. Why is it that the only game that I play, it's like the game that I play the most, fucking hates me?
I mean, why would Blizzard respond to you? You've already been playing their game for 15 years. They've got your money.
Yeah.
You know, you could quit tomorrow or today. They're not really gonna give a fuck about you. I mean, WoW is on
I agree with that.
Managed decline, right? So you quit the game, they're not going to give a fuck. But you know, Final Fantasy, I mean, obviously they're going to be okay, but they would love to get new blood into the game and all your viewers right now, and they love to get them in the game.
Well, it's just sad. I mean, like, because it feels bad because like Blizzard, it's like it's like all the other game companies seem to generally like me except Blizzard. So it's like everybody that knows me doesn't like me. The only people that like me are people that don't know me. That kind of sucks. You know how everybody else got those Burning Crusade Collector's Edition press kit things? Guess who didn't get one? Mcconnell, do you want to guess who didn't get it?
You.
That's right. You guessed right. I didn't get one. That's wow. I wonder how you guessed that. And like the Blizzard actually hates you. I think that Blizzard, you know what Blizzard is a company that cares too much about PR. Like, they care too much about PR when it doesn't matter, and not enough about PR whenever it does matter.
Can you give some examples?
Hong Kong.
Okay, as one of what?
I think that they view me as being toxic and mean. And because I'm toxic and mean, and they have this, like, you know, this fantasy that all of their players are, like, these super wholesome furries that just love coming to BlizzCon and buying buttons to put on their backpacks. You know, they feel like I'm like the antithesis of that, and they don't want to fucking have that involved with their game. I feel like that's really what it is. They see that shit.
To be fair, the people that actually do go to BlizzCon are those kind of people.
Well, I went to BlizzCon too.
Yeah, and look at all the fucking WoW shit you've bought over years.
True.
You even got a fucking Bulwark of Azeroth backpack.
That was yeah, but that shit was like $25, and I had to get $100 for them to give me free shipping, so I just bought it. I didn't even really want it. No, and like I also like, well, I don't want to hear about it, guys. Yeah, I don't want to hear about it, like, because it was like you had to spend $100 to get free shipping, and there was like one thing, and it was like $25, and like it was $25 to do shipping. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna spend $100 either way. I might as well get the backpack. You know what I mean?
Listen, dude, you don't have to justify your swiping to anybody.
It's not swiping. It's completely fucking different. It's a real item. It's real. Like that.
Don't mind me, just swiping.
Jesus Christ, man. Like, that's gonna get really weird. Fantasy freaks are huge freaks. I mean, but like, isn't that kind of like a freak thing to say too? The thing is with me is like, there's a lot of people that play Final Fantasy that aren't weirdos, but there's a lot of people that play WoW that are weirdos. Like, I just want to, it's like, for me, this is a video game, right? It's not like some sort of like weird, I'm not getting married, I'm not, you know, signing my life away, etc. I'm just trying to play a video game that I think could be fun, that a lot of my viewers want me to try out. And I think people have elevated me playing this game to some like really high level, and that does make me a little bit apprehensive about playing it, because I think that it just makes it less enjoyable, because you know that you have all this pressure on you to not do something, or to do something, or say something. Final Fantasy versus WoW. That's what I think is kind of weird about it, is that, in my opinion, I think that both games would improve if the other game was good. I think it's extremely healthy and good for games to have competition in that way. I think there's a lot of people that know about Final Fantasy, and that's definitely true. But whenever you're talking about people that know about Final Fantasy versus people that know about Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and actively play it, I think those are two different numbers. And it's hard to say really like how many people play the game, right? It's kind of impossible to say that. Like, I would even argue that like there might be like as much, if not more, people that know about Final Fantasy as a franchise than even Warcraft. Like, Final Fantasy has been a huge franchise that's had releases for 10 years, sorry, 30 years almost. It's been massively popular for a long time, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. But the only thing that's frustrating for me is to see people that talk about it and like make these comments in like a in my opinion, kind of a dumb way. Yeah, like, and I also don't really want a whole lot of advice going into the game. I know there's been, like, people that are, like, frothing at the mouth to have the opportunity to tell me what to do in Final Fantasy, but I'd really prefer if people didn't do that. And I just kind of want to try the game and see what it's like. That's really all there is to it.